The rain hammered against the pavement like 1,000 tiny drum beats, each drop a reminder of Maya Chen's disastrous day. Her interview had run late. Her phone battery had died at 7%, and now she stood outside the gleaming headquarters of Sterling Industries, desperately trying to flag down her rideshare through a cracked screen that barely responded to her frantic taps. When a sleek black Mercedes pulled up to the curb, she didn't hesitate. She yanked open the back door and tumbled inside, her soaked resume clutched against her chest like a life raft. "Thank God you're here," she breathed, water dripping from her hair onto the pristine leather seats. "I'm so sorry I'm running behind. Traffic was a nightmare, and then my interview went over. And I really need to get to Mercy General Hospital. My mom's nurse called, and I need to be there before visiting hours end." The man in the driver's seat turned slightly, and Maya caught a glimpse of sharp cheekbones and eyes the color of storm clouds. He wore an expensive suit, but she'd seen plenty of rideshare drivers who worked corporate jobs on the side. The gig economy was brutal like that. "Mercy General," he repeated, his voice smooth and measured. "That's across town." I know. I'll tip extra, I promise. I just got out of an interview for a receptionist position, and if I get it, I swear I'll make it. Worth your while. Please, my mom has stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and she's been asking for me all day." The words tumbled out before Maya could stop them. Her vulnerability laid bare to this stranger, who had no reason to care about her problems. Something flickered across the man's face. Surprise, perhaps, or recognition. Without another word, he pulled into traffic with the confidence of someone who owned the road. Maya slumped back against the seat, relief flooding through her tired body. She closed her eyes just for a moment, trying to gather the scattered pieces of herself back together. "Your interview," the driver said after a few minutes of silence broken only by the rhythmic swish of windshield wipers. "At Sterling Industries." "How did it go?" Maya's eyes snapped open. "How did you know it was at Sterling?" "I didn't mention the company." "You're holding a folder with their logo," he said smoothly. "And you came out of their building." She glanced down at the navy blue folder, now wrinkled and slightly damp. "Oh, right, it went—" "I don't know. I think I talked too much." The woman interviewing me asked why I wanted the position, and I told her the truth. That I needed steady income and health insurance because my mom's treatment is bankrupting us, and I've been working 3 part-time jobs trying to keep up with the bills. She laughed, but it came out bitter. I probably should have said something about being passionate about administrative excellence or whatever. "Honesty is underrated," the driver observed, navigating through the congested streets with remarkable skill. "Most people lie in interviews. They say what they think others want to hear." "Well, honesty doesn't pay the bills," Maya said, staring out at the blurred city lights. "My mom worked her whole life as a teacher. She gave everything to her students, always put others first. And now she can't even afford the medication that might give her a few more months. What kind of world rewards that kind of selflessness with suffering?" The question hung in the air between them, heavy and unanswerable. The driver was quiet for a long moment before he spoke again. "Tell me about her." "Your mother." It was an odd request from a rideshare driver, but something in his tone made Maya want to answer. Maybe it was the kindness she heard there, or maybe she was just desperate to talk to someone who wasn't a medical professional or a debt collector. "She's the strongest person I know," Maya began, her voice softening. "When my dad left us, she worked 2 jobs to keep me in school. She'd correct papers until midnight, then get up at 5 to work the breakfast shift at a diner. She never complained. Never made me feel like I was a burden." Tears pricked at Maya's eyes. "And when I told her I was dropping out of college to help with her medical bills," she cried, not because she was sick, but because she felt like she'd failed me. "You dropped out?" 2 years ago. I was studying education, like her. I wanted to be a teacher, too." Maya wiped at her eyes roughly. "But life had other plans. Now I'm just trying to find anything that offers health insurance." The receptionist position at Sterling was a long shot. They probably interviewed 50 people more qualified than me. The Mercedes glided to a stop outside the hospital's main entrance. Maya fumbled for her phone, trying to pull up the app to rate her driver and add the promised tip, but the screen had finally given up entirely. displaying nothing but black. "I'm so sorry," she said, frustrated tears now mixing with the earlier ones. "My phone died. I can't pay you through the app. If you can wait just a few minutes, I can run inside and grab some cash from the ATM. "No need," the driver said, turning to face her fully for the first time. In the harsh, fluorescent light of the hospital entrance, Maya finally got a clear look at him. He was younger than she'd initially thought, maybe mid-30s, with a face that belonged on magazine covers rather than behind the wheel of a rideshare vehicle. "This ride is on me." "I can't let you do that. It's a 40-minute drive across the city." "Miss Chen," he interrupted gently, and Maya froze. How did he know her name? "Go see your mother. That's what matters right now." Confusion and gratitude warred in her chest, but the need to see her mom won out. Maya grabbed her soggy folder and stumbled out of the car, turning back to thank him properly. But the Mercedes was already pulling away from the curb, disappearing into the rain-soaked night like something out of a dream. The next morning, Maya's phone, plugged in and miraculously revived, rang with an unknown number. She answered it warily, expecting another bill collector. "Is this Maya Chen?" a crisp, professional voice asked. "Yes? This is Janet Morrison from Sterling Industries Human Resources. I'm calling to offer you the receptionist position. We'd like you to start on Monday if you're available." Maya nearly dropped the phone. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. However," Janet continued, "there's been a slight change. Mr. Sterling would like to meet with you first. Would you be available to come in this afternoon at 2? Mr. Sterling, Alexander Sterling, the billionaire CEO of Sterling Industries, whose face graced Forbes covers and business magazines around the world." Maya's stomach dropped. Had she somehow offended someone important during her interview? Was this a meeting to rescind the offer before it even began? "Of course," she managed. "I'll be there." She arrived 15 minutes early, her hair neatly pulled back, wearing the one professional outfit she owned that hadn't been damaged by yesterday's downpour. Janet met her in the lobby with a kind smile and led her not to a conference room, but to the top-floor executive suite. The office was enormous, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. And standing by those windows, silhouetted against the gray sky, was the man from last night, her Uber driver, except he wasn't an Uber driver at all. "Ms. Chen," Alexander Sterling said, turning to face her with those same storm-gray eyes. "Thank you for coming." Maya's mouth opened and closed soundlessly. Her brain couldn't process what she was seeing. I thought you were my rideshare driver." "I gathered that." A hint of amusement touched his lips. "For what it's worth, you're not the first person to make that assumption. I was leaving the building late. Saw you struggling with your phone in the rain, and thought I'd offer a ride. I didn't expect you to jump in quite so quickly." Heat flooded Maya's face. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I rambled about my personal problems. I got your seats wet. I couldn't even pay you." "You were honest?" Alexander interrupted, moving to sit behind his massive desk and gesturing for her to take the chair across from him. "Do you know how rare that is? I spend every day surrounded by people who tell me exactly what they think I want to hear. They perform. They posture. They hide their real selves behind corporate speak and carefully crafted personas." He leaned forward, his gaze intense. "But you were real. You talked about your mother with such love. You admitted your struggles without shame. You showed more character in that 20-minute drive than most people show in years of knowing them." Maya didn't know what to say. She felt exposed, vulnerable, like he'd seen into the most private corners of her life. "I looked into your file this morning," Alexander continued. "Did you know your interview score was the highest we've seen in 3 years? Patricia in HR said you answered every question with unusual thoughtfulness and specificity. She said you were overqualified for the receptionist position. Then why was I only called for that role? Because you don't have a college degree, and our system automatically filters applications based on education credentials." He said it with clear distaste. "It's a flawed system, one I'm now reconsidering." He opened a folder on his desk, not the receptionist position file. Maya realized, but something else entirely. "My mother died of cancer when I was 15, Alexander said quietly. "She was a nurse, spent her life caring for others, just like your mother spent hers teaching." And when she got sick, the medical bills destroyed us financially. My father worked himself into an early grave trying to pay for her treatment. He looked up at Maya, and she saw grief there, old but never fully healed. I built this company partly on the promise that I'd create better benefits, better support for employees facing medical crises. But I've been so focused on expansion and profits that I've lost sight of that mission. He slid a paper across the desk toward her. This is not a receptionist offer. This is an offer for a position I'm creating, Director of Employee Wellness. Your job would be to overhaul our benefits program to make sure that no employee here ever has to choose between their education and their family's health care, to ensure that the people who work for Sterling Industries are treated with the dignity and support they deserve. Maya stared at the paper, at the salary that would cover her mother's treatments and then some, at the comprehensive benefits package that included coverage for family members. I don't understand. I'm not qualified for this. I don't have the experience, the education. You have something more valuable. You have empathy. You understand what it's like to struggle, to make impossible choices, to love someone so much you'd sacrifice your own dreams for them. Alexander's voice was fierce now, passionate. I can teach anyone about benefit structures and policy frameworks, but I can't teach someone to care the way you clearly do. I can't teach someone to be honest and kind even when they're at their lowest point. Tears were streaming down Maya's face now, and she didn't bother to hide them. Why are you doing this? Because yesterday you reminded me of something I'd forgotten. That kindness matters. That humanity matters. That every single person walking through these doors has a story, a struggle, a reason for being, here beyond just collecting a paycheck. He stood and walked around the desk, extending his hand to her. So what do you say, Ms. Chen? Will you help me make Sterling Industries into the kind of company that would have helped your mother? The kind that would have helped mine? Maya took his hand, feeling the warmth and strength in his grip. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I will. As she left his office with the signed contract, her mind reeling from how drastically her life had just changed, Maya understood something profound. Her mistake, confusing a billionaire for an Uber driver, hadn't been a mistake at all. It had been an opportunity to be herself, to speak her truth, to show who she really was without pretense or performance. And in doing so, she'd not only changed her own life, but reminded a powerful man of the values that truly mattered. Sometimes, she realized, the universe puts us exactly where we need to be, even in the back of the wrong car on the worst day of our lives.